Now, if you know me, you know two things about me. One, Batman is my second favorite superhero of all time, and two, I am probably the biggest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan ever. Honestly, ever since I was young, ever since I could remember, I've absolutely loved the Turtles. Hell, my first memory that I can actually remember was me getting a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toy from the 2003 series. It was a Leonardo, but it was around my third birthday in 2003. I've just always loved the Turtles. I don't really know what drew me so heavy to them, but one thing's for sure, once you're hooked on Turtles, you're hooked on Turtles. As for the Bat, well, I've always liked Batman, but as a kid, I don't know how much I would have said that he was my second favorite superhero. I mean, Spider-Man has always been my favorite superhero, ever since I seen the first Spider-Man film back when I was a kid. But I'd say around 2012 or 2011 is when I started to really look at Batman as my second favorite. I mean, yeah, I had watched the Brave and the Bold series, I had watched the Batman series, but none of that really encapsulated me until I really started to get a little older towards those middle school years. With that said, you have to know that when Batman vs. Turtles, the comic, was announced, I was hyped. I couldn't believe that I would finally see two of my favorite comics entities that I had always thought that went really well together finally unite as one. And then, when they finally announced an animated film, DC and Nickelodeon were making a Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated movie, my heart was through the roof, and I just had to see it. After seeing the film, I was entirely satisfied. I got my fix of both the Bat and the Turtles. And after seeing it, and seeing pretty much every DC animated film there is, I can safely say that this is one of the best DC animated films there is.
I can't hear you! Okay, I heard that. I'm trying to work here.
Now, before I get too deep into this video, I want to say that these are strictly my own views and opinions. If you don't agree, get down in those comments and let me know why, and we can chat it out. And if you do agree, get down in those comments as well, because I want to know exactly why you agree with what I am saying. Now, getting started with this, the 5 DC animated films I'm referring to that released in 2019 are Justice League vs. the Fatal 5, Batman Hush, Reign of the Superman, Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Wonder Woman Bloodline. Now, every DC animated film to be released that year were pretty good, the most lackluster probably being Batman Hush, but it seems like only us hardcore comics fans were really disappointed by that, and I can see why. If you didn't know much about the Hush character and the storyline they provided, I guess a good enough alternative that for a first time experience of the story, I guess it would be rather interesting and satisfying, but on the other hand, for the ones of us who are comic fans, well, it was a disappointment. But I digress. Other than that, small point, DC's year of films in 2019 was a pretty good one, on the animated side at least. Now, I believe that Justice League vs. the Fatal 5 was the closest contender to Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, but for my dollar, it's Batman vs. Turtles all the way. To sum the movie up shortly, the Turtles go to Gotham after getting word that Shredder is working with an unknown partner there, all while Batman is investigating pieces of tech being stolen that combined could create a device that could be disastrous. From there, our heroes eventually meet up and join forces in order to stop the villain's nefarious plot. And a pretty standard plot this is, but it's not exactly the plot that brings you in. It's the characters, it's the action, it's the story. Let's start with the Turtles. In this film, the Turtles are the Turtles exactly as they should be. These versions of the Turtles are perfect. I mean, Mikey is silly and goofy but can be serious when he needs to be. He feels like a young teenager, just as Michelangelo should be. Donnie is geeky and smart. Sometimes this annoys his brothers, especially Raphael, and that's how Donnie is supposed to be. Raphael is impulsive. He's a hothead with a bad temper. That's right on. That's the Raphael I know. Leonardo is the level-headed leader, but he's passionate. He's passionate about his skills. He's passionate about fighting crime and doing what's right. And he's passionate about his little brothers and his sensei most of all. And that's exactly how Leonardo should be. Well, I can't say this is the definitive version of the Turtles because there just isn't enough around the Turtles to say that. I can honestly say that this is one of the best characterizations of the Turtles I have ever seen. And that's coming from a guy who has seen everything and read most anything. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, the Bat Family. Batman, I feel, is usually portrayed and done the same-ish. He's usually that quiet and often calm crime fighter, staying in the shadows, very observant. I can appreciate that. This Batman doesn't get to do much detective work, but I feel like there wasn't much time for that anyway. Not when he had to deal with everything else we did in this film. Though, he does get a bit of detective work in this film. This Batman is voice acted stellarly. Like, Troy Baker did his best Kevin Conroy, and it's damn near spot on. It's perfect. Other than that, I feel like the writing for Batman was really good. But that's pretty much all of it. Alfred, like Batman, is portrayed the same as he usually is. A witty and sarcastic butler, giving him some of the best banter in the film alongside Michelangelo. Damien Wayne is our Robin in this film, and he's pretty good. Not as edgy as he can be, and sometimes a bit less intense and seemingly capable than he often is portrayed. For instance, there's a scene where Damien, Ralph, and Mike run from Mr. Freeze, kind of in a fearful way. I couldn't see Damien doing that much. That's the thing about Damien I love. Despite how much the odds may look swayed against him, no matter how big his opponent is, he keeps confident and he will go with the fight. But when watching the film, that really is just a tiny nitpick. Barbara Gordon in this film is how she should be as well. A very smart crime fighter who could hold her own on the field just as much as she could in the lab behind a computer. So that's good.
Well, look who's here.
Up to your old tricks already, Enigma?
Whatever are you talking about, Batman?
The last time you delivered one of these, it almost killed Commissioner Gordon.
What's your point?
Now, I'm not even going to begin to touch on all the villains because there are just so many villains in this film, so we'll do this instead. Shredder was awesome, badass, at times scary, the type of Shredder you want to see. The same could be said for Ra's al Ghul, really good interpretation. As for all the other Batman villains, for the most part, they're done justice. We see them get their moments. They don't have the biggest part in the film though, but again, they didn't really have time for that. Pretty much all the Batman villains are done justice. I didn't see much wrong with it, especially since most of them only had a good 5 to 10 minutes of screen time if their name wasn't Ra's al Ghul. The storytelling in this film was done really well. I don't see how they could have done much better of a story, honestly. They did the best they could do for this film, and I can appreciate that. They follow pretty much the comic storyline, just taking out certain things that wouldn't work for the film, that would involve too much explaining or just wouldn't work for the time constraints, and I can understand why some of those changes were made. They did the best they could do with this, like I said, and I appreciate it. You could tell how much love was put into this film, from every Easter egg in it. Like the original Batman design in the Batcave, you know, that red suit with the black mask, to things like from the Turtles popping up, like callbacks to the original theme song, and characters like Metalhead, and everything else. Also, stay for the credits when watching this film, and not just for the after credits scene, but also during the credits, there are numerous recreations of Turtles, Batman, and numerous other comic book titles like Justice League and Brave and the Bold, comic covers fixed with art of Batman and the Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Heroes in a half shell! Turtle power!
In all, I was pleased and delighted by this film. It was the perfect combination of everything I love about Batman and everything I love about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I got my fix by the end of the day while watching this film, and with it really being left open, I really hope we can get another Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film sometime in the future. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I literally got done editing the Spider-Man TASM video last night. I just got done recording this one. About to put it into the editing game. I gotta get some clips. I'm writing another video right now. I'm writing the Teen Titans video. I'm rewatching that show, 2003 Teen Titans show, and I'm going to be doing a retrospective on that soon. Also, I'm probably about to do a video on the Young Justice comics really soon. And I've been reading Gen 13, so yeah, a lot of people probably don't know that. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff coming soon, so just stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of fun here. See you guys later.